to a show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats Podcast. And it's me, it's your host, is Dante. I know the last few episodes we've been chatting it up with a lot of the teammates over at Crazy 88, and they'll just not really by design, it just happened that way. But I was like, let's take a break. Let's breathe a little bit. We know so much about those cats over there. Now let's breathe. Let's step away from the team. Let's go back out and start speaking to other folks in the community. So my guest today is a grappler, who we connected through conversation about competition, and that is a topic I do feel like I kind of steer away from a little bit, even though a lot of my teammates compete. It is still one of those things though where I'm like, I don't. So I want to speak to somebody and get their perspective from the outside on competing early and competing often. So I'd like to welcome to the podcast Miss Carly DuCharme. Welcome, Carly. Right. How are you?
Yes. I'm great.
Yes,
How
I'm
are
getting
you?
a gold sticker. All is well on my end. And thank you for making the time to do this and just being flexible. Life gets hectic, and when folks are able to carve out time to sit with me for a little bit, chit chat, I am greatly appreciative. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking jiu-jitsu.
You know what? That's what I love to hear. I love when folks come on and are like, look, man, I want to talk jiu-jitsu, which don't get me wrong. I'll talk about anything else. If you're like, hey, let's talk about baseball. I don't know a lot, but let me tell you, like the 93 Atlanta Braves, I got you covered. That's all I know though. But as far as jiu-jitsu goes, I guess, to start off, what got you started in jiu-jitsu? Because you started, a little bit later. You didn't start like, a lot of the phenoms these days that are starting at like 6 years old and running up through all their life. You started in your 30s?
Yeah, my mid-30s. I was about 35.
Okay.
So basically, prior to that, so after college, my now husband, then boyfriend, fiance, decided to go to medical school. So that didn't leave a lot of time for me to do extracurricular stuff. We're a team, and, I supported him through all of that. So pretty much until the time that a few years before jiu-jitsu, but up until that point, I was kind of working enough to support both of us. So, I mean, I think people look at my life now and they're like, oh my God, it's so great. You get to just go to jiu-jitsu and work out and do whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you didn't see everything I missed out on prior to that. So, there was a lot of 80 plus hour weeks of work where I didn't get to do a whole lot else. And it was me supporting the both of us. So, then once he got out of med school and residency and everything, then I kind of was working from home, and then I was a personal trainer for a little bit. And I really wanted to get into something competitive, and crazy me, I thought, hey, maybe I'll do MMA. So I got into like Muay Thai kickboxing for a little bit. And then I was at a title boxing for a while. And I know some people are going to look at title boxing now and just think it's like a cardio kickboxing gym. But when I went there, the club that I went to, that they weren't really pressuring the franchising model yet. So all the clubs could kind of function however they wanted to. So when we were doing class, it was like spinning elbows and back kicks and this and that. It was like, you were actually learning how to like really strike and fight. And I did a couple private lessons. We had like a full ring, and I did a couple private lessons with one of the coaches, actually striking in the ring. So I really wanted to kind of go that route. When that gym kind of changed because the franchise came in, a title came in and said, hey, you got to play our music, you got to do our classes. And it became something I didn't want to do anymore. It became more of a cardio kickboxing situation, and that's just it's not my jam. So I left, and I really had the intention of finding a Muay Thai place. And I was in Naples, Florida at the time. And if you're familiar with Naples, it's where all the old, rich white people from New England go to retire. So there's not a lot of like martial arts going on. There were like 2 gyms to choose from. There was Fight Sports, which at that time had just recently had a very sketchy situation go on. And then there was this place called Third Law, which you may or may not be familiar with, is an 88 affiliate. Or at least it was when I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Roberto.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
So we're practically related here then.
Yeah. I was thinking about that before the pod. I'm like, we are actually kind of affiliated. I haven't been affiliated with them for a long time, but that's a whole other story. So I got there and they had a Muay Thai program. They only did it a couple of nights a week. And then they had Jiu-Jitsu. And I was like, well, I got to pay this membership no matter what. So I might as well check out this other thing and see if it's something I want to do. And I went in there and I was just like, okay, like I'm super confused, but I can figure this out. And I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I was like, fell in love with it yet, but I was lucky enough where there was like a little small group of girls that came to night class. When I would go to noon, not so much, but I never really cared about going with the guys. It didn't bother me all that much. So I got into that and then figured out people don't really compete when you do Muay Thai. Like, yeah, you could do smokers and whatever, but it's not that often. And I really, like, at my age was like, look, if I'm going to do something, I got to do it now. Like, I don't have time to waste. I'm not old, but I'm not young either. So like, I gotta do it. So I always had the intention of competing in something. And what I found out was if I do jiu-jitsu, I can compete a lot. And, at least where we were in Florida, there was something every month. So 3 months in, I was like, hey, I'm going to sign up and just go. Maybe a good idea, maybe not. I didn't really ask. I just kind of did it. The crazy thing is, if you're familiar with Roberto, his opinion, at least at the time, it's probably changed now that he's not so young. But his opinion at the time was Masters Division are for lazy people and women who have children. And I'm like, well, I'm not either of those things. So I fought adult pretty much all through white belt and like half of my blue belt. And so, I mean, I didn't know any different. I'm like, I'm in good shape for my age. Like, I can hang with these girls. Like, it kind of sucked when you came across the Florida State Wrestling Championship. Nope. But, whatever. It is what it is. But it's the typical thing. Like, I think it's different now. There's so many tournaments and promotions are a little different. Where like when I started competing, most people lose a lot before they win. And I lost a lot before I won anything. So, I mean, yes, like it was hard. And I mean, I can't lie and say there weren't times where, although my husband's very supportive, once you start spending $100 a pop and you lose and you lose and you lose, it's like, and especially IBJJF when it's one and done. Yeah. I mean, I lost an IBJJF tournament at white belt in 30 seconds. So I drove to Miami, paid my whatever it was at the time. I think it was like $110 back then. But it's still $110, the drive to Miami. And in 30 seconds, I was done. So it's just like, I think it took a little convincing early on to be like, no, I swear, I'm going to win. Like, just give me time. I know I can do it. And I never really had to have that conversation, but I know there was a period of time where it was like, why are we doing this? Like, I know there had to be that thought, because there was that thought in my head too of like, man, how long is it going to take me to just win a match? Just one. I just want to win one. But then, when it happened, it was, uphill from there. And then I got my blue belt and I lost a little more.
You didn't lose, you learned. That's what we said.
I learned. I will say I have never lost the same way twice. Unless you want to count by points. But I've never been submitted the same way twice. Because usually it's a mistake. And I take that pity medal, because there's not very many of us women, even when you're fighting adults. Took that pity medal. And I was like, I'm not going to lose like that again. Especially if I have to go up and get a medal after I lost. Because that's never, ever, ever fun. Ever.
It's like, I don't deserve this. Like,
oh, God.
You give me an award for losing?
I hate it. I know you're close to my age. Like, you know what it's like when those participation medals started happening. And you're like, what the hell is this? Like, what? I don't.
Just give them a trophy. Like, make them feel like they did something. Like, huh? I didn't do anything.
My mom's all like, didn't you get a medal today? I'm like, no, I didn't. Threw it away.
We had that kind of thing for a little while with, the default bronze, right?
Yeah.
You go up there and there's only 4 in your division and you get that bronze,
mm-hmm.
like we would just kind of toss them. Like, not we, like they would just, toss them like, no, like that's not an earned medal. So that's crazy. Just thinking about like, jumping right in, just like, you know what, I'm just going to do masters now. Let's go do the adults. Like, there's one thought to that though. When I think about in the training room, I'm typically one of the older guys, one of the 2 or 3 oldest guys in the room. And when you're going with the younger cats, especially on a Friday night when we have our wrestling class and you're holding pace with these, these young 22-year-old kids who wrestled in high school, it's like, huh. And there is kind of thing is like thinking about you going in doing the adult division when like, hey, maybe I should be doing the masters. And it's like, I'm gonna do the adults. But it's like, look, if you're hanging with the young folks, rock and roll, do it. And
honestly, it wasn't even a thought, because of the way it was presented to me was so negative. It was such a strong negative feeling that, like, if you're going to compete, you're not doing masters, because that's not the people that train here. Like, it was so off of that I was like, it wasn't even a thought in my head to do masters. Like, it never even occurred to me. And then when I left that school and went to another school at Blue Belt in Florida, I still did adult, just because, they never challenged me on it. So I was like, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And then when I moved to Florida when we moved from Florida to Texas, it's too many moves. We moved to Texas. And I was at a Gracie Baja for a while. And my coach was like, why are you fighting adults? And I was like, well, I've always fought adults. And he's like, Carly, think about this. Like, how long do you want to do this for? And I was like, well, forever. Like, I'm never going to stop competing. Like, unless you have to drag me off the mats, I'm not going to stop. And he's like, well, then you should fight people your age. And I was like, well, why? If I can hang with these girls, why would I not fight them? And he's like, well, think of your longevity in the sport and understand that, like, these master divisions are still hard. They are hard. These girls are not playing around. They're hard. But these young kids they haven't lived enough and experienced enough to understand that we all have to do something on Monday. Like, I might not work full time, but I've got 3 dogs. I do everything at the house. Like, I still have adult things that I need to do, that I need my body to function for. And I want to do this forever. And although we all go out there as masters competitors, we all still want to win. We're all still fighting really hard. There's this kind of underlying understanding that we all have something to do on Monday. Nobody's trying to like let their foot pop just because they want to win a match. Like, nobody's really doing that at Masters. In fact, like, I can't even remember the last time someone even attacked my foot in a match. Like, the women just don't do that. Not at the Masters levels. Like, the leg game is like not existent. It's just not. So sometimes, like, the guys at training, they'll grab my toe and they'll look at me. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. Honestly, like, it's not worth me spending time on, because when I go to Worlds, no one's touching my foot. No one's touching my foot. 1, they're not going to get there. And 2, they're not going to do it anyway. Like, they're not even going to go for it. It's not even in their head to go for that foot. So it doesn't, it's just, and it's different. And I don't regret switching over to Masters. I don't regret it at all, because it is hard. The thing is, though, is like, even if I had stayed in adults at this level, the problem is there's nobody to fight. I went from fighting at white, blue, kind of at purple. That's when it started to kind of trickle off more. I was fighting at least once a month, if not twice, sometimes 3 times. So I went from fighting 1 to 3 times a month to maybe 3 times a year, because I just don't have anybody to fight. There's nobody signed up. But I'm 43 and a brown belt. There's not that many of us brown belt females to begin with. And now it's Masters 3. At Nogi Pans last year, I had to go down to Masters 1, and I still had to take my medal in my weight class because there was nobody in my weight class, and I had to wait for the Open with these girls who were 10 plus years younger than I am. In Nogi, which I really never did, but I was at a school at the time where, like, they were kind of pushing it, and if I wanted to train every day, I had to train Nogi twice a week. So I was like, what the hell? I'll just do it. Whatever, fine.
The divisions, at even with males, as you go up, belt rank and age, it's just like, just starts to slip off. A lot of times you get folks that are just like myself specifically, it's like, look, man, I'm here to learn it and do it, but we have quite a few, upper belt competitors in the Masters males. I can't even think about, like, I think all our females are adults, fighting adults, I believe, as far as I can remember. But yeah, it's got to be tough as a female, especially, purple, brown belt, mainly, as you get up in those numbers or in those ranks, just finding a match at all. You got to be almost kind of like you got to call people like, hey, do you want to compete next month?
I have straight up Facebook stalked people. I will stalk people on social media if I see if there's somebody signed up, but maybe they're like Masters 4 or Masters 3, or I'm Masters 3, but if they're Masters 2 or a different weight class, I'll be like, hey, so you just want to come into my division so that we both have a match? Like, we're pretty close in weight. Like, I never will ask so I fight medium heavy, which is 152.5 to 163. Am I lighter than that? Yes, but I don't want to have to worry about making weight. And I almost always weigh in underweight. but I don't want to have to, because I have to travel to get matches. I have to go to Florida to go to Pans. I have to go to Vegas to go to Worlds. Like, I have to travel to fight. So like, I don't want to have to think about traveling and worry about those last extra 5 pounds to make weight.
Yeah.
So I don't care about fighting up. Like, at this point, I'm going to go and do the open anyway. And what's the difference? So if I have to, like, I just don't want to have to diet down. I'd rather they come up, because I'm going to be closer to your weight than you think I am anyway. I'm not going to be as heavy as you think I'm going to be. So you might as well come up. We both have a fight. Like, you signed up to fight. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But basically. I have like, if they don't contact me, I've like reached out to their school. Like, please fight me. Please.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the thing. Like, I had a teammate, there was a Naga a few years back, many years back, actually, out here in Baltimore. And I remember she was a blue belt and there was no one like she could go with. She had no one. So she ended up going against a purple belt. It was like, look, man, I just want a match.
Yeah.
That's all. Just, you pay, you don't want to go there and just, it's like, all right, well, sure, I get this medal, but like, you do it not for the medal, you're doing it for, the experience, the opportunity,
Look, the medals are great. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm the first one to be like, yeah, I won gold. That lasts about 10 minutes. And every single one of my medals, except for like, I think third law still has some of my white belt medals. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. They're in a Rubbermaid tote upstairs. They're not on a wall. My Naga belt, it's upstairs in the Rubbermaid tote with everything else. Like, so it's just, my world's medals, they're upstairs in a tote with everything. It's just a medal. Like, it's just a medal. Even like I won worlds this year at brown belt, and still people are like, oh, yeah, you're the world champ. And I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, I kind of was supposed to win, but okay. Like, it's kind of worn off. It wore off after like a couple days. It doesn't help that I went to the open and got hip tossed by this huge judo girl and was out in the first round of the open. So, but that's besides the fact. That's my fault for signing up for the open. I always get the super heavyweight girls.
Yeah. Oh, and not just that, the judo. It's like, oh, great.
Oh yeah, I found out after the fact she was a black belt in judo and a gold medalist in judo.
Oh.
I was like, I think my game plan would have been different.
A little bit. Anytime I see a teammate square, like, we're sparring, and if I know, it's like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and sit down right here. Like, no. I don't have the best, guard, but yeah, just go ahead and I'm going to sit and you go ahead and do what you got to do, but you are not throwing me at all.
Oh, dude, she hip tossed me and you can hear me. And I think it's the first time ever that in the video my husband was taking, my husband goes, oh shit. And then if you watch the video on Flow, you can hear me go, ugh. Because she landed on top of, like, she hip tossed me and landed on me she probably had 100 pounds on me. Like, she was a big girl and landed on me. And I was like, it was so bad. It was the one time in competition in 8.5 years that I took a minute after that happened underneath her. I had to take a minute and be like, okay, self-eval, are you okay? Did you break anything? Can you breathe?
Like
Does
anything hurt? Suit.
Oh, it was bad.
Right, checking for damage.
No, seriously, it was rough. It was really rough. But yeah,
there was one of our classes. He was a wrestler, so I felt like, okay, I can rock and roll with this guy. There's more than wrestling there, because he threw me in. And my coach, I wish, like, now I record like just
Mm-hmm.
everything. Any sparring, any instructions I recorded. I wish I would have had the video of it. The way that he landed on me, and I was fine, but my coach was like, "Oh shit!" And I hear him like, "Are you okay?" He's like, I gave the thumbs up, like, "Yeah, man, I signed that waiver." But if
I'm good,
seeing that in
but
emotion, it was like, because even as I went flying, I'm in the air, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Huh, this can't be good." And I think it was more what they saw as the way he landed on me. And I
Mhm.
was like, "Huh, okay. Well, this now will like, yeah." It was kind of one of those like once I hit the ground, I felt fine, but I
Mhm.
was not getting back. And I was like, "Yeah, we're just gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and fight from here and try to get back to guard. I'm
Yeah.
not getting back to my feet with this dude."
Yeah. I mean, there's been times I've thrown people in class and I'm like, oh gosh, that maybe was a little harder than I wanted to throw them. And I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? But you know how it sounds like you hit the mat and the mat sounds so much more dramatic than it actually felt. And
Yes.
but but if it's like a white belt or a blue belt and it's a girl, I'm like, sorry. Really
Oh
sorry about
yeah.
that. My bad. Didn't think it was
It's
going to be that
practice.
hard. I'm used to training with guys. I'm sorry.
Well, see, yeah, that's where it gets tricky too. It's like, I could imagine as a female, you get another female and there's like, "Oh my God, come on, like let's do this." And then when you throw them, it's like, "Oh, sorry.
Oh
I am
no.
used to throwing folks much heavier."
I'm so like on the fence about training with girls. It really has to so I mean, outside of when I first started, there was like, that handful of like pretty good group of girls. But then again, when I went to noon class, then none of them were there. They all went to night. So like I got used to training with the guys and it's a different feel. And I'm a little bit more aggressive. So like sometimes training with the guy and the guys just don't care as much. Like they don't get butthurt about stuff as much as like girls do. Girls sometimes like even the other girls who are aggressive, they can be like, oh, why are you so aggressive? I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm just matching what you're doing. So why am
Yeah.
I more aggressive? I don't really understand, but that's okay. And then like anybody low, and then once I left there, I was the only girl. So I only fought with guys. And then my next school, kind of the same thing. And then my next school, like I was the only upper. And then once I got my blue belt and was competing, I was definitely the only upper belt female. So then it was just kind of only white belts. And then you never know who's going to walk in. The other girls would all be excited. Oh, there's another girl coming. This is so great. I'm like, wait, she might not be like us. Hold on. Hold on. Because she actually owns the gym now, which is crazy. Her and her husband own the gym. I had a woman at Gracie Baja. She came in and look, anytime a new female comes in, I don't put any weight on them because you just don't know what their level of acceptance is and their tolerance. Also, especially women, you don't know what they've been through before as far as trauma or anything else. And before I did all this, I have a background in working in like mental health. So I'm a little aware. I just pay attention to how people respond to things. So if I'm in mount, I don't even sit on them. Like I leave like that much room between my butt and their body because I'm not a big girl, but I'm not tiny. So I'm like, I just want to be aware of how they're going to handle all of this first. We were doing mount that day. And she told the coach that she didn't want to drill with me anymore because I put way too much weight on her in mount. I was like, I didn't even sit on her. Like I literally had no weight on her at all. So I'm like, that's fine. She can drill with somebody else. I'm totally fine with that. I'm not offended. This might not be the sport for her. But she can just go drill with the other girls. That's fine. I'll go over here. No big deal. So I'm always like I'm very sensitive to the girls. And I always kind of, again, I'm so used to being around all the guys that even like my sense of humor and the way that I approach training and everything else. And again, like I started almost 8.5, 9 years ago. It was different then. It was way different then. So like the things that people complain about now about being too hard or this or that, I'm like, okay, you should have seen the warm-ups at Third Law when we warmed up for like 45 minutes doing the craziest things you've ever seen in your entire life. We were like cartwheeling. We did reverse limbo. Instead of the thing getting lower and you going under it, it got higher and we were cartwheeling over it. That sounds smart.
Like, doesn't sound like a party.
We were doing the craziest things. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what training used to be like. Third Law was like, if you can imagine, like kind of a fancy auto body shop, almost like they used to sell cars. It was like a glass showroom up front. And then in the back were like all the like workshop areas with the big garage doors.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the front was the mat area where what you would imagine would probably be like a waiting area. Did it have air conditioning? Yes. Did we use it? No, we absolutely did not. So were our mats elevated? No, they were not. They were not on a nice elevated springboard floor. They were on concrete. So when Roberto decided that he wanted to go learn judo, and all the rest of us had to go learn judo now, we were doing full-blown standing seyanagis onto this floor that was not padded. It was just mat on a concrete floor. It was super fun. And then on Saturday, when we had women's class, it was in the back, in the garage area. That was the closest I've ever come to heat stroke in my entire life, because this was during the time where you weren't really encouraged to have water during class. It wasn't that you couldn't. You could. But if you were a certain level of person in his mind, of like a competitor or whatever, and you got water during class, you were not looked upon fondly at all. And you were probably made an example of. And I learned that lesson real quick, and I didn't touch that water. And I mean, to my advantage, I don't really feel like I need to drink water during class. I can drink it, I can be hydrated before, and then I'm fine until after, which means on competition days, my body's just kind of used to operating under less than optimal conditions. So if I have to maybe not drink water because I'm close to weight or whatever, I'm probably going to be okay still because I'm used to it. But y'all aren't used to doing that anymore. Like you can leave warm up. You know what would have happened if I had left warm up? Like, no, that is not acceptable. No, it wouldn't even occur to me to like it. I had to ask permission to go to the bathroom during class. Like, I'm a grown adult paying a membership. And I'm like, sir, Master Roberto, can I go use the bathroom? Like, thinking back on it, I'm like, this was the most, like, insane situation. Like, there's no way I would have tolerated that now. Absolutely not. Like, now, granted, I'm an upper belt, and I have a little few more privileges than I did as a white belt, but, like, there's no way. Mm-mm. And like people would even imagine, like I see people literally leave warm up now to go get a drink of water. And I'm like, what are you doing? Go back. You can survive 5 more minutes. It's okay. You're not going to die. It's okay.
Well, even when I always feel like, when they're like, hey, go ahead and grab water. Mm-hmm. And I don't tend to do it just because same as you. It's like, I'm all right. I drink, mm-hmm. I take, water beforehand, and then I just kind of go through, and then at the end I'll have water. But there'll be folks where we'll kind of break off, go get water, and most folks are back pretty quick, but there are a couple that are like,
They linger.
Why are you taking so long to get water? It's like, go
It's
get
a
a sip. Yeah.
Come back.
And get back out here. Like, that's just it. That's never been a thought in my mind. Like, hey, let's leave warm up to get water, or, let's linger afterward. It's like, if I do go get water, it is a quick sip. The part of why I also don't do it too is like, I just feel like, getting over there and getting back. It's like, I just want to be here so that way I'm ready to go. Like,
I do it now because like I used to be at schools where we had like a noon class for an hour and then I would go back at night from like 6 to 7 or whatever. But now that I'm at Henzo's, we have there's training at 11, 12. And then technically we have open roll at 1. Nobody really stays that long, but like now I can pile all of it into one big block of time instead of having to go back. And so like,
that's good.
Pretty much like the fundamentals class from 11 to 12 is just drilling, maybe some like specific training. And then noon to 1 is advanced training, but sometimes we just roll the whole time and that's fine. But it's like, then I'll like in between rounds, I'll go drink some water, or if I have to sit around out because we have an odd number of people, I'll go drink some water. But just because it's so long.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's Texas, so like it's hot in the summer, no matter what the air conditioning situation is. Like they don't build buildings around here for weather of any kind. So yeah, that's a whole nother story. Have you ever dripped a faucet in your entire life? You don't even know what I'm talking about. See, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I grew up in Connecticut. My husband grew up in Minnesota. We've lived in Iowa. Never in our entire lives have we ever dripped a faucet until we moved to Texas. And they're like, better drip the faucets tonight. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? Dripping? Why would I drip a faucet? That sounds like an insane waste of water. Oh no, you have to, because they don't build the houses for weather. So you have to open up your kitchen sink so the heat gets in. And you have to literally drip every faucet in your house. Your pipes are going to freeze. I'm like, this is insanity. Like, no, why would you do this? They build every single building like that. There's no insulation anywhere. So like in the summer, the air just runs because the windows are crap. And so like the gyms, I mean, look, he sets the air conditioning and it's like, I have an American coach for the first time in my life. And trust me, he's running the air conditioning. It is still hot and humid in there, and you are sweating and you are losing water. So like I am drinking water. By the second hour, I'm going over and I'm sipping water. One of the reasons I don't tend to drink water during class is when I finally allow myself to go get water, I'm probably going to chug it. And then I'm going to be rolling with a full stomach of water. And like, that's not ideal either. Because then you're like, oh, I got a full stomach of liquid. This is awful. And then I'm like, yeah, that's the time that someone's going to go north-south and their ear is going to be right on my stomach. And they're going to hear, whoosh, 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 whoosh. It's just like,
or you can feel it flow, like going
gross.
to, you're like, ugh. Yeah, I actually just thought about it with the faucet. There's not last Christmas, the Christmas Eve before. So what, 23?
2 Christmases ago.
It was unbearably cold here. Like it was a cold that I've never felt here in Maryland before. And so I'm from Michigan originally. So it's like my wife, and we had a power outage too. So I said to my wife, and she was like, hey, let's head out, let's go get, food.
Yeah.
And we were going to go to my grandparents' house the next day. Anyway, so I was like, why don't we just swing by grandma's and stay there? The power came on just as we're about to leave. But I was like, just to be on the safe side, I went to all the faucets. And she was like, why are you doing that? I was like, look, like where we lived before, we were renting, the pipes burst before. It was not cute.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, hey, where I'm from, you just gotta, just to be safe. She's like, no, that's
Mhm.
not going to be a problem. It was like, just let me have this one,
Just
please.
be careful.
Just
Just be
please.
careful. Yeah.
But yeah, like when it comes to, hydration on the mats, period. And, and I'm the sweaty guy at the gym. Like,
Oh,
no one sweats more than me on that mat. Like during the warm up, just one lap jogging, they're like, dude, why are you sweating already? It's like, I don't know. Stop asking me
mhm,
questions. Like I'm going to sweat more if I have to answer.
mhm,
But I think, well, for me at least, I still just kind of, I don't bother. Like I said, I'll, take a little bit of water before. And
mhm.
on Saturday, it's a 90-minute class. So that last half hour of sparring, that might be
Yeah.
when I get some water because I go grab my mouth guard and then,
Yeah.
take some water. And then it's
Yeah.
like, but then the next half hour is
Mhm,
just go full clip. Well, not full clip, but
mhm.
it's just like go, go,
Yeah.
go, go, go. I don't like to sit out rounds either. It's not because I'm a badass, not by any means. It's just I'm old. And if I sit down and cool off, I can't get back up.
Well,
So
I'm
I have
just
to
there
keep
for a
rolling.
purpose. I'm just there for a purpose. Like I'm here to get
Yeah.
better and I don't need to take a round off. So I'm not going to.
Yeah.
If you need me to because we have a weird number of people, fine. But like, or my thing is like, I'm a 150-pound female. If for some reason the only people that come that day are gigantic guys, then I'm only going to have so many people to roll with. And I
Mhm.
just, I'm at that age where like I just have to be smart about who I'm going with and when. And if you're gigantic, but you can give me a good roll, cool. I'm down with that. But if you're going to try and manhandle me, I just don't have time for that anymore.
Sure.
I'm not here for that. I don't have anything to prove. Like I have nothing to prove to anybody. I'm definitely like the most seasoned competitor at this gym, at most gyms that I've been to. And like, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. If you guys, I left my last gym because of that. I left my last gym. I went there because I had, I left Gracie Baja to go to, because the coach, when I signed up, he's like, oh, you're a competitor. And I was like, yeah. He's like, great, I'm going to help you. It's going to be, and he just like, so now to be fair, we like moved houses, we rented when we first moved here. I went to this one gym. They were like wannabe MMA guys. And I was like, I never got cauliflower ear until I went to that gym because the guys were like, to get chokes, they would go like this.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm like, yo, if you can't get the choke, just go do something else. Like, you're 50 pounds heavier than me. Like, this is just a dick move. Like, you're not proving anything. Oh, and by the way, you didn't get the choke anyway. You're not better than me. So sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Like, just get better instead of being a jerk. Like, you don't need to hurt me. And I was just dinged up all the time. And I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, this is not why I'm doing jujitsu. And so, like, it was a good excuse to leave there when we moved houses because the house was on the other side of town and the Gracie Baja was down the street. And at that time, there really wasn't that many other gyms around. It was just like I would have had to go like 30 minutes in another direction. And I'm like, this'll work. I like the people here. Like, I don't know if I'm cool with like this little choreographed warm up, but whatever. The self-defense stuff is kind of not my jam, but whatever. It's fine. I'm not really cool with having to wear your gi, but that's fine. Like, I'll deal with it. You want to help me compete? Awesome. I'm still a blue belt. It's like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I needed. So he came once. I was by myself competing the whole rest of the time I was there. And the straw that broke the camel's back was I went to an IBJJF in Austin. And I mean, I was killing girls at the time. Like at that point in my competition career, I had such an amazing guard pull. Like I pull guard like it's an attack. So whenever people are like, oh, you're a guard puller, I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And try and stop it. Go ahead. I will jump guard. I will pull guard. I have pulled guard so hard that the girl face planted and I took her back. Like, yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm thinking, like there's a video flying around that I was like, I wonder if that was you. There's a video that I think I have it in my queue to repost. I go by it every so often, but I see it and it's like, oof.
I don't know if it's been a while. It's probably been like 5 years since that happened. But like
this one was inside of the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know it wasn't me then. So like I'll send it to you. It was good. So like, I mean, it was like pull guard triangle, pull guard triangle, pull guard triangle. I mean, my matches, if my match went a whole 5 minutes, it was rare. So it was like, I went to IBJJF in Austin and won my weight class easily. And then I went to the open and this girl who was a heavyweight, let's just say she had a very strong jawline. And I don't think I've fought somebody that was a heavyweight, a girl who wasn't chunky at all, who felt like a bull. Like she was just straight up a brute. She was so rough with people that like, had I not been so good at the time with no coach there, I could have gotten really hurt. In fact, she fought one of my friends from another school. She fought her in no-gi. The match got stopped. Basically a verbal tap, right? Like you can't talk during your match. So like at IBJJF, you can't talk. You can't make too much noise. So like they'll verbal tap you if you do. Her matches were so rough that they verbal tapped this girl because she was like, like that's how rough she was. She broke her ribs.
Oh.
She was mean. She was a brute. She was a really nice girl. Afterwards, she goes, if your jiu-jitsu wasn't so good, I don't think I could have beat you if I wasn't so strong. And I'm like, I know. I'm quite aware. Thank you. Because she really didn't do anything amazing. She was just like, she was so strong. And like, my husband was like, well, what happened? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I have never felt a girl that strong, even when I was fighting adults. Like, she was just like, she was solid muscle. I just like have never, the only time I've encountered that is when I fight dudes in class. It was just that kind of feeling. And like, that's the only thing I can equate it to. There's just nothing else like it. And I got back to class the next day. And of course he wanted to, oh yeah, Carly won gold. And he wanted to just show me off as his gold medalist. And then he said, Manji, this was February. At this point, I'm just feeling like a sandbagger, right? Like outside of this one match, I'm just running through girls. He says to the entire class of people, she won gold medal. Now she needs to focus on Masters Worlds, which FYI is in August. I grabbed my teammate next to me, who was a belt above me at the time, and I said, this motherfucker is going to make me wait for my belt until effing September. Like I was so far, and you're not coming with me to Worlds. You're not coming to Vegas. You can't even go 2 hours to Austin. Like that's not happening. So you're going to make me go to Worlds by myself and wait for my belt. I left. To put that in perspective, I got my purple belt at my new school because they were like, why are you still a blue belt? Like, what is happening? Like, what? This doesn't make any sense at all. I got my purple belt after being a month at that school. and continued to win. I had no losses at purple belt until I went to Masters Worlds. That was the first year I went to Masters Worlds, and I lost my first match by points, or not by points, by a decision. And the competition before that, I beat a 4-stripe brown belt only a few months after getting my purple belt. And this guy was going to make me wait all the way to the Worlds. And look, I'm not saying that I'm like the best thing ever. Like, that's not my point. My point is just like you're going to make it. Yeah, I just don't.
I mean, that's the thing though, too. Like, you know, you're out there hustling, you know, you're showing the work, and, you know, the proof is in the pudding. And, you know, it's like, hey, let's keep strutting, you know, our golden calf out there.
No, exactly. You're happy to like put me out in front of the world as your gold medal winner, and which I don't mind. Like, fine. Like, I'm your only competitor. Like, literally, I was the only one competing. So if you want to do that, that's cool. And talk to everybody about me, that's cool. But like, you're like, why make me wait? I'm going to win at purple. Like, so I just, yeah.
If you're out there, you know, starching everybody at blue, and, you know, the skill is there, it's like, yeah, what, you know, sense does it make to not send you up there, other than, again, like, hey, well, I know you're going to win at blue, so let's just keep, you know, strutting you out there.
And, yeah, you want a world champion at your gym, right?
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. He asked me to bring my Naga belt in. I was like, you're not keeping my Naga belt. Absolutely not. I'm not going to do anything with it, but you're for sure not taking it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like, you're their only competitor. It's like, it's yours, you know, it's yours, you know, you earned it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something weird about that to me, where, like, you know, at our gym, again, we have lots of competitors, you know, lots of, you know, medals all over the place, belts all over the place. But it's like, they, you know they're going to go out and, you know, I'll get another one, you know. And the thing is too, it's like, I'm on this journey with, you know, this gym that respects me, you know, that comes out and supports me. You know, I can't think of any competition where, you know, our folks are out there and coaches don't go. I mean, as a matter of fact, you know, sure, we might have like a local competition around the corner or something that, you know, maybe one or two people might want to go to. And for those that kind of, they really would prefer you don't. But if you do, you're still going to get someone. You know, they're not just going to have you go out on your own. So I can imagine that for like a major.
And my thing is like, look, at the time when I was competing so much, and the fact that like, even recently when I have to travel, I'm like, look, I get it. I'm the one signing up for all these things. I don't always check ahead of time. I just sign up. But like, I also never had the assumption that someone was going to come with me, unless it was like more of a local thing, or the whole team was going, whatever the case might be. But when you sit there and say, I'm going to help you, like, well, that's a promise you can't keep. So don't make it. Like, when I came to Henzo's, I had already signed up for Masters Worlds. And look, my coach now, IBJJF isn't really their thing. I don't know. Do you guys have World League up there?
Actually, no, I don't
think so.
No.
If they come, they're awesome. They put on a really great tournament, and they really challenge the IBJJF around here. They're very, very well run. That's kind of where everybody goes around here is the World League tournaments, except for the upper belts don't really do them. But that's kind of their jam, and they're doing great at those tournaments. And I'm not saying anything against that, but I also signed up there kind of knowing that IBJJF wasn't their thing, and that's fine. I don't necessarily care. And he felt terrible. Well, first I went to Austin, and I was like, I did not expect him to go at all, because it was just me. And I'm like, look, I already signed up. I don't expect it. He's like, no, if I can go, I'm going to go. And he's a single dad. Like he runs all the classes at the school. No, he drove down there and it was like, oh my gosh, the drive to Austin is usually not this bad. It was bad. It took way longer than it usually does. Went down there. I only had 2 matches and then the girls didn't sign up for the open. So I just took my medal and left. It's for the points for Worlds. But like, he didn't have to do that. And I didn't have that expectation for him to do that. And that's a different situation to me. But he couldn't come to Vegas for Worlds. But at this point at Brown Belt, I've been to so many schools. I know so many people. I messaged a friend and I was like, hey dude, are you going to Worlds this year? You usually do. You usually bring a team. He's a black belt. It's like, if you don't have anybody going at my time, like, can you just come corner me? And then I ran into like 3 or 4 different people that same day and they were like, oh, do you have a coach here? If you need me, just let me know. So like Masters Worlds, I'm like, I'm not even worried about Masters Worlds because there are so many people there that I already know that would come over and corner me in a heartbeat. So I'm not even, but he felt terrible. He was like, I feel so bad. Next year, I'm for sure going to go. And I've never had support like this. He sent me a video. They stopped class and had my matches up on the television during class. And like everybody was cheering. Everybody was like, yeah, ref, get the decision right. Because the refs were like not giving me the advantages where they should have given me the advantages. So like it ended up being like 0-0 the first match. And I was like, oh God, here we go again with these stupid decisions where the girl just really didn't do anything. And I had in like 5 sub attempts and he gave me no advantages. I was like, okay. All right. So, I mean, I was like, I'm not an emotional person, but like, I almost got emotional. I'm like, that's like, to know that you guys care enough to like, somebody bought Flow Grappling just for that. Like, and you guys put it up on the TV and everybody stopped during class to like, make sure they were like, it was super cool. It was really, really cool. And like, even now, like I go back and I went back to class. There was a World Week the very next weekend. So I don't generally get to see kids class because I go during the day. And so I only get to see the kids class ending on Saturdays when I go on Saturdays. And so that following Saturday, I went and helped coach. And then it was 2 Saturdays after. And this little girl was like, she was training and then we all got on the mats to warm up. And so she was with her dad and we were just, we started jogging around and I see her dad go, hey, that's Carly. And she turned around and she went, and I was like, that's why I keep doing this. I mean, I do it for myself, but like those moments are like, they're really special because you're like that little girl who maybe doesn't think she can do this looks at me and thinks that I'm special. And I'm like, I'm not special. I just come in here and bust my butt. Like, I'm not like a naturally coordinated person. I broke my toe walking down the stairs. Like, I am clumsy. Like, I'm only good because I work super hard. My shoulder has been messed up my entire life because I was an abnormally large baby. And so like I have nerve damage in my shoulder and you would just never know unless I told you because I've lived with it my whole life. I can manage it, but I'm not supposed to be able to do these things. I'm just like, just tell me I can't because I'm going to show you that I can. And you're not going to know any different because unless we're doing a drill where like you are going to put my shoulder in a certain position and I just can't do that, then I mean, and at least I have a coach now that understands when I'm like, hey, I can't do that. He's like, okay, cool. Like it's not an issue. Whereas like sometimes when I've had like the Brazilian coaches, which I've had for most of my time, they don't really get it. And it's hard to understand because I do what I do and I fight really hard that when I'm like, I can't actually do that. They're like, no, just do it. I'm like, no, I can't. My body actually doesn't even move that way. I can't turn my arm that direction. Like, and if I do, it hurts really bad. Like really bad.
Yeah. To some folks, they just
I don't get
say like,
it.
"Oh, well, you're out here, just do it. Like you can do it." It's like, like you do the things because, like you said, you've been living or life, with the
Yeah.
shoulder, just you're not, coordinated, But the thing is, you've found a way to make this work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I always think about that whenever anyone comes onto the mats. It's like, sometimes you get that super gifted young athlete. Then sometimes you get that person who has never played a sport,
Mm-hmm.
but this is their sport. Somehow this
Mm-hmm.
works for them. And, we have to recognize and appreciate those things too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this girl that she was a blue belt when I started. The most unassuming human being you've ever met in your entire life. Like if I told you that this girl won gold all the time and you looked at her, you'd be like, no, no. I mean, she ran like this. She was that girl. She was the run like a girl. Like, never in a million years. And she would kick people's ass. Like, people, I don't know if it was you that I reposted, the one that was like the little kid, and he was like, it was like the white belt looking at your competitor warming up, and it's the guy doing. It made me think of this time. It was like my first or second competition as a white belt, and this blue belt girl, she was going to go. Her opponent was warming up. I kid you not. She stood. She was like hitting herself, jumping up and down. And I looked at my teammate and I was like, what is she doing? Now, keep in mind, I don't even warm up at all. I just sit in the bullpen and I'm just like chilling. Maybe I'm listening to some music. But coaches in the past are like, Carly, move, like warm up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't need to. I'm like, when it's time, like, let's go. I've done way too many like new breeds and nagas back in the day where like they tell you you're going at 3 and you don't go till 7. Like, no, I'm good. I don't need to warm up. Like, let's just get this show on the road. Fine. So this girl who just literally like hit herself in the face and was doing these crazy like high knee jumps. She goes out there and she tries to jump guard on my teammate. And my teammate literally just went like this. And the girl fell on her face. And it was like over. Like after that, it was like pretty much over. Like the girl didn't do anything. I'm like, all that to do that? Like, what are you showing off for? You had nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't even understand.
Some folks are all fluff.
Oh gosh, it made me laugh so hard when I saw that. I was like, I gotta repost this because it's so true. It's so true. And I have teammates now that are like, Carly, oh my God, like look at this guy. And I'm like, just go do your thing. Just go. You just never know. Some people gotta look, some people gotta stand there and like move around and be all crazy. I just like to stand there and be unapproachable. I just have my game face on and call it a day. Like I'm not, look, we can be friends afterwards. If I already know you, we're probably talking in the bullpen. Like it doesn't have to be a whole thing.
I actually put that post up because a previous guest, she had just mentioned that she is actually going to compete. And as soon as she told me that, I put that right. I was like, oh, I don't want to tag her in it though, but I messaged her, letting her like, hey, this is you. This is for you. Because it's like, oh, my first competition. What the fuck is that guy doing? like, why is he warming up like that? But,
no, and I mean, I feel like that's the thing too. And that was kind of my point when I messaged you of like when I heard the whole, I've had this conversation with teammates and I just had a girl who competed at purple belt and that was the first time she ever competed. And I, again, thought back to the whole thing. And I'm like, this is why I really encourage people, if you're going to go, do it as soon as possible. Because like, look, I get the fact that you think you're going to go against spazzy white belts, but just FYI, you're a spazzy white belt. That's who you are. That's who you are. It's fine. I have gotten hurt in training way worse than I've ever gotten hurt in competition. Way worse. I've never really gotten that hurt in competition. I can't really, I mean, I got my eye cut like one time, just like a random fluky thing, but like, I've really not gotten hurt in competition. So like, it doesn't actually, if you are willing, what you have to do is you have to, and I tell everybody who competes the first time, no matter how old they are, but especially my masters competitors, I need you to think about how much damage you're willing to take. Because you need to know before you go out there. Are you willing to get choked out? Are you willing to break your arm? If you're not, which I don't suggest you do, because it's not worth it, your life is not going to change tomorrow if you get a gold medal. I have a world championship. My life didn't change. Nothing happened. Nothing changes. So evaluate what you're willing to risk before you go out there and just tap. Just tap. Outside of some freak thing that happens, you're going to be fine. Like, you're really going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Again, even teammates, I've seen teammates get hurt way worse in training than I ever have in competition. At the last school I was at, some wrestler kid blast doubled this other guy and broke his femur. Like, tore his leg apart. Like, he was out of training for months and months. I mean, almost a year. So, look, that stuff is probably more likely to happen in training than in competition. It really is, because you're not expecting it. In competition, you're expecting it. You're expecting someone to come at you. Plain and simple. Yeah. So if you wait, start at white belt, because if you wait, blue belt, okay, you could still start at blue belt. That's not as bad, because you never know other people. There's more chance that other people have waited. Once you wait to purple, brown, black, some of these people are like me, and they're like, yeah, let's go compete, even at the master's level. So you got to think, if you come at brown belt and this is the first time you've competed, I've competed for 8.5 years. A lot. Not like occasionally, like a lot. I don't have kids. I can do whatever I want. So if you're like, oh, I'm a brown belt, I think I'll give this competing thing a try, and you get me, I mean, I just don't know what to tell you, because here's what's going to happen. Here's what happened to my purple belt. I wasn't there. I actually taught class that day so my professors could go coach. My professor is loud. You are not hearing him. That's not happening. You can hear him. Trust me. First of all, you can hear his shirt because it's probably bright green, and you can hear his voice because he is loud as hell. I watched her first video, and she just wasn't really listening to the directions that and she's not bad. She's a good purple belt, but she just got her purple belt like a few months ago. So she was listening, but not really. And she did okay, but she got beat. That's fine. But this is World League, so it's a double elimination. They promise you 2 fights, which is nice. That's the nice thing about World League. So the second match, he's videoing right before she goes out in the mat. And he goes, hey, just listen to what I'm telling you. Just do exactly what I'm telling you to do. And she goes, I don't know, it's really hard to hear you. And I was at home watching the video and I was just laughing, like almost crying laughing, because I know how loud he is. But the thing is, I've competed so much and I've competed so much by myself, asking other people to corner me, that it doesn't take much for me to hear. If I hear my name once, I register that voice and I'm like, okay, that's who I need to listen to. But that comes with experience. So if you don't compete to the higher belts, you're not going to have all of that experience. You're going to be experiencing that adrenaline dump that you would have experienced at white belt rather than listening to your coach. And that's really where that comes in, is like you're taking this person who's a purple belt that might have been competing for however long, and then you've never done it before. That person knows how to listen to their coach. That person has a game plan. That person has all of these things. They've had the adrenaline dump however many times. They're not experiencing those things that you're experiencing for the very, very, very first time. So it's just like anything else. It comes with experience. I would compete so much because in my brain, if I go all the time, it's going to feel normal. Yeah. And it does. It's just like all those nerves, they don't go away. They change. For me now, they're more like, okay, let's go. Let's just, come on, enough waiting. Let's go. Like, let's get this match on the road. Like, I'm ready to go. And like, once I get that first match out of the way, even that stuff is like gone. Then I'm like all ready to just kind of do my thing. But it's not like, I'm not sitting there going, okay, I gotta go. Okay. Oh my God, is it time? Oh my God, my feet are sweating. Oh my God. Like that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Like I'm just like, I've been there. I've been to Pans. I've been to Worlds. Like I've been to all these places. I've done well. I've lost. Like it is what it is. But you have to go through all those things to be able to get there.
I think also with the ideal too, from her thinking, hey, I might get hurt or I don't want to get hurt. I also think too, it's like for the most part, when you're going out there to compete, like you said, you're a spazzy white belt as well, but there is kind of a certain point too, because you like to believe that your coaches see it, so they're not going to send you out there if you're a train wreck, like you have to have some kind of control over yourself. They're not just I wouldn't imagine a decent coach would send someone out there like, oh, this guy, yeah, sure, he does wacky shit on the mats all the time, let's send him out there to compete and get someone killed.
And FYI, your coach can tap for you.
Yeah.
Even as an adult, your coach can be like, no, she's done. Like, it doesn't happen very often. I don't know if I've ever seen it happen, but they can still tap for you.
I almost tapped for one of our kids competing because his shoulder was going in a way where I was like, oh my Lord. He, little flexible kid, did something. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. All right, keep rolling, keep going.
We had a kid, so at a lot of these tournaments, the refs will tap for the kids. Like once the submission is in, they end it, right? He was so mad because he's actually he's able to hyperextend his arm, and it looks awful. You're like, oh, I don't know if that's okay. I don't know. And he was so mad because the ref stopped the match. And we're like, dude, you have to understand, we know you're okay. But we told you ahead of time that if that submission's in, the ref is going to end the match. And so you have to be okay with it. Shake the kid's hand and call it a day. Like, these are the rules. We fight by the rules. Move on. But he's like, I could have gotten out of that. Blah, blah. He wasn't getting out of it. It was tight. Whether it was going to break his arm or not is besides the fact, but he wasn't getting out of it. Like, that wasn't happening. He wasn't hitchhiking out of it. He wasn't doing anything. He was stuck. But was it going to break his arm? But he's going to sit there for 3 more minutes. Like, the match was over either way. He didn't want to accept that, and that's fine. But yeah, some of these kids, I have some adults. I mean, they're in their 20s still, so I'm like, hey, just tap early with that, because you can do that now, but when you're my age, it's going to be a different story. But like, I just know there's some people that are like, they're just super flexible, or they're like, their joints are just beyond pliable. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna let this go. I don't even care about tapping this white belt. Like, I don't care. I'll just choke her somewhere else.
Yeah. I was actually, during that competition, I was actually more concerned with the aftermath with the mom, because the mom's like super like, like rah for the kid, and my kid's the best.
Yeah.
And like, she's louder than me. And I'm like, hey, do you want to do this? You want to coach him? Like, get out here on the mats then. But because there's a previous competition where I had heard her scream. Actually, I don't even want to repeat what she said, because I'll tell you off air. But here and now, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to cross this lady the wrong way. So,
right.
But he was okay. He took silver, and then he ended up getting gold. In the was it gi or no? I can't remember. One was silver, one was gold. It was like he was fine, but it's just one of those things where it's like, I was getting concerned. I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I might have to call this one for this guy. And then I saw his arm like swivel. I was like, okay, he's all right. He's good. And I looked at his mom, and I was like, I'm glad he's good, because I feel like she would probably catch me in the parking lot and try to hold hands.
The thing is like, those are usually the parents that don't train. Yeah. Because they really don't understand what's happening. And sometimes they don't understand like how much danger their child is in. Like, it's not a joke. Like, you would have been way more mad had they broken his arm.
Yep.
And let it happen. There's that. But sometimes, look, there's also kids and adults, and I will never tell them to their face, but there's definitely some times where I'm in class and I know someone's going to go compete, and I'm like, oh man, not that I hope you lose, but you really need to, because you need to get yourself in check, and you need to stop thinking that you are something that you are not. Like, just bring yourself back to earth. Again, not that I'm like, oh, I hope you lose, because obviously not. But sometimes it's just good. It's good to lose. Like, for example, at Purple Belt, like I told you, at Purple Belt, I couldn't lose. And then I went to Masters Worlds and I lost my first match. I needed that. Because in my head, I could not lose. Nobody could beat me. I beat a 4-stripe brown belt. Like, not that I was like, I'm amazing, I can't lose, I'm a superhero. Like, no. But at the same time, like, I needed to be reminded that I need to play a solid game every single time. Like, my game needs to expand. My game needs to get better. Like, I'm not guaranteed to win. And I needed to be reminded of that. And some people need that earlier than others. But I think it was good for me to lose as much as I did before I won, because it taught me that it's hard. It's hard to win. Everybody wants to win. And no matter how good you are in class, it's hard to win in competition. And I think most people need to experience that. They need to experience that loss, because it's really important. It just is. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you going back to training and working hard. And you just need to always be reminded that it's hard. It's not easy, and it's not going to get easier. Like, that's just the truth.
I competed back in my white belt days. Only competed once. It's not my cup of tea.
No,
but I think the best possible outcome came from it. I got silver. If I got gold, I would have been like, y'all can't tell me shit. I'm the greatest ever. This is a local tournament, mind you. This isn't anything major. This is like,
it's like Grappling Industries.
Yeah, not even. It was like, those four people in my bracket. I don't even think we had I think we're all just mismatched because, experience and weights. And they're like, just throw these four. There was 5 of us. No, there was 5. It's like, throw these 5 together. They should work. Like it looks good. The dude that I beat, he actually quit in the middle of the match. He didn't quit, walk away, but he let go of it. Yeah, he gave up on a submission, and it was like, oh, okay, it's like that. And I happened to just have presence of mind to roll into side control. It was like, and got the points. Didn't even know, and then I went on to the finals and lost. And it's like if I won gold, I'm like, y'all can't tell me shit. But if I would have lost, I would have been like, man, this shit sucks. I'm going back to basketball. Fuck the sport. But yeah,
you were right in the middle.
Yeah, being right in the middle lets me know it's like this is hard, but I can do this.
Yeah.
And I do think that losing in the beginning for lots of people is important because it's like playing a video game. If you turn on a video game and you're playing it on easy and you're just winning all the time, the second you move up to pro, think about Madden, hey, I'm going to play it on rookie, and then you go up to pro and it's a little harder. You might still win. Then you go to all pro, you're going to get a little bit of challenge. You go to all Madden, and then you start losing. You don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play this anymore because I'm losing all the time. It was like you gotta lose those matches, lose those games. You got to get humbled early, because if you come in just starching everybody, then when you finally meet your match, I don't want to use like Ronda Rousey, I think comes to some mind a little bit here. And granted, she's a seasoned veteran athlete, judo, Olympian, everything. But in MMA, she's running through her competition. And these aren't easy fights by any means. But a lot of them were kind of in that pocket of like, hey, you're going to go in there and be able to out-grapple these girls. And when she got in there with somebody that could outstrike her, it became problematic. And, she came back, she fought Amanda Nunes, in her return fight, another striker. She was recently on the Breakfast Club. She did an interview, and she was explaining, I think she's mentioned this before, concussion issues that she's had in the past, really, kind of paved the way for her retirement, down the line, because, just head trauma is no joke.
Yeah.
But I do think a little bit in there too, though, is you did a lot of winning in that beginning. And then once you took some of those losses, that's tough to take. Losing I remember playing football and having a teammate, we lost, and he was like, I hate losing. Like, dog, nobody likes to lose.
Was that the same interview where she talked about the fear of being booed by everybody when she went back into the...
Oh, no, I haven't heard that.
There was a little clip on Instagram. It was one of those things where they play the little clip and then the guy, some other guy responds to it, And I totally agree. It was she was talking about how she doesn't go to any of the UFC events basically because she feels like she put her heart and soul into the women's division of the UFC. And let's all keep it real. She paved that way. Say what you want about Ronda Rousey. I still have mad respect for her. She's still a badass bitch. And I'm all for her. Do I think she got super into doing movies and maybe didn't train as much? And she came across some people who weren't a great match for her? Yeah, I think there's a few different factors that went into that. She wasn't super young anymore. She was fighting against girls she hadn't really experienced. The girls are getting better because there's more girls who are getting into the sport. There's more different kinds of girls. But she is still, there would be no women's division without Ronda Rousey. Hands down.
That's facts.
Period. Facts. So she was just like, it's really sad because I feel like I can't go to these events because I'm going to get booed. And it really hurts my heart. And I was really depressed about it for a long time. And the guy that then responded was like, this is bullshit. She shouldn't be treated like this. Basically, like the same thing I just said, like, guys, have some respect. But I think like the thing is like people really forget. People forget because it's a what have you done for me lately kind of society we live in. And they forget, like, look, whatever you think of the game she played now looking back on it, right? Because there's people that are like, well, all she did was armbar people. Yeah, and no one could stop it. It's just like,
they couldn't stop it.
Carly, you're just a guard puller. Okay, stop it. Y'all can't stop it, so I'm going to keep doing it. And you don't give me anything else. Trust me, I would love to take you down. I would love to take you down. But that's not how girls play. Girls play, they squat right down to the floor, and you can't get a takedown. You can't do anything but pull guard. So I'm going to pull guard on you, and I'm going to play my game. If you don't want me to do that, then don't give it to me. Give me something else. I'll show you plenty of matches where I'm on top the whole time and dominating on top. I can play on top, but if that's not where we end up, if you want to play a leg game, I can play a leg game. But that's not what you guys do. So, I mean, complain about the way she fought however you want. She won.
I think also too, because this was brought up in the interview I heard, is like she lost 2 fights. It's like,
how many?
She lost 2 fights. It's like, but then you look at someone, like you look at Mike Tyson's career, stuff like that. But, and Buddy and I were just talking about this too, because we're talking about with MMA, he's not really a big MMA fan. So I always talk about like, that 05 through like 2013 window where you had GSP, Anderson Silva, Cain Velasquez, John Jones. You have these dominant champions, Dominic Cruz, Jose Aldo, and you look at these folks discounting John Jones, who knows what's going on with him, but whether he's retired or I don't know, who cares? Like,
exactly,
go crash another car. But the thing is, you see these names now, and a lot of them you just remember them losing, in their most recent things. And like you said, it's a what have you done for me lately type ideal, but also too, you still see folks giving tons of respect to Anderson Silva, tons of respect to Jose Aldo. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but also the same should be done for Ronda. But I think also one thing with Ronda that I think plays unfortunate for her is that she went to WWE and pro wrestling fans fucking suck. Like, I'm a pro wrestling fan and I get frustrated when I see any forum or anything where they're bitching and complaining about something. Like, Ronda came into something brand new and she came in and did very well.
Well, she's a character.
And people were like they're booing her as she comes in because it's like, oh, well, it's easy to hate her because she's coming from a privileged position of, she gets ushered in. It's like, dude, she's coming in and she's learning something new and she's doing very well. So I think, the ideal of like getting booed might also come from that because pro wrestling fans suck. But I think the MMA fans, if she went to an event, would fucking love her. They would cheer for her. I've never seen, you rarely see anyone in the crowd that they boo.
I think now if she went, she'd be fine. I think if she had gone immediately after or like within a year of that Holly Holmes fight, and she probably would have gotten booed because people are shitty and they want to be like down on somebody. And because I mean, how many awful things did people say about her after that fight? Like, she wasn't ready. She's a Hollywood star now. She's this, she's that, she's whatever. Like, yo, she still came back and got in a UFC ring. Like, are you getting in a ring to get punched in the face? No.
She's doing what
so
no
why
one
don't you just shut up and pay your pay-per-view fee and watch the damn fight, or don't. I don't care, but respect her for what she does because it's impressive. Like, I just don't understand people sometimes.
She came in, she put women's MMA on the map, or at least she made that star shine brighter than it would have ever shined without her. Because you had, Gina Carano, you had Cyborg over in Strikeforce, which, she was there too, but coming over to the UFC and really like making, women's MMA a thing. I mean, not just, headlining UFC events. I mean, she's one of the first women to, going back to pro wrestling, to main event a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, come on.
and that's not going to happen if Ronda Rousey's name isn't on that card. That was a Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair thing. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch aren't headlining WrestleMania without Ronda Rousey's name on that ticket.
Let's keep it real. Not that I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, but like my husband watched it more regularly, kind of like several years ago. Like back when I think I lost interest in the women's division kind of after Nikki Bella and her sister left. Because I feel like after that, the girls, look, I'm not saying the girls were classy at any specific time, but they've gotten like really trashy. Like there's this weird, not very attractive, not very appealing aspect to the women's division. And it's just like, I feel like girls, we could do better. We could do better, and it makes me not want to watch because I'm just not interested. And at least like not, again, I was never turning it on myself, but like if he had it on and was watching, I'd be like, I can get into this, like there's a time I could get into this, but like now I'm just like, these girls are stupid. Like, what is with this outfit? Like, you didn't even put any thought into this outfit. Like, there was no original, like, these are just, it looks like you bought it at the Halloween store. Like, stop. Like, please be a little, like, put some extra thought into this situation.
Have some class,
Yeah, like something.
When I started looking at pro wrestlers as stunt performers, that's when my whole point of view changed on how I watch it now. It's like, oh, okay, this is different. And during the Nikki Bella and Brie Bella period, like I was kind of on and off for wrestling. I wasn't really, it's like I'd peek my head in and like, that's cool. And then come away. Then I can't, like after they left, there was this weird thing. And then I guess there was a period after, I want to say like 20, right before Ronda got there, they actually started turning into like, you're getting like actual like athletes doing this. That's not to say the other girls weren't athletes, but they weren't highlighting their athleticism. It was like, hey, let's see what you look like in, the least amount of clothes without getting censored. Now, I mean, they still wear the least amount of clothes without getting censored, but they're actually, still, they're like doing like high flying like stunts and stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's, at least they're letting them like kind of show off their abilities. So, and, even with that, I think the Bellas kind of ushered that in a little bit because they seemed like, they had some, actual good in-ring movements. And then after that, they started bringing in, what's the young lady? She was a power lifter, Bianca Belair. They're bringing in like, actual athletes. And I was like, okay, now this makes sense. And then, you get Ronda Rousey in there. It's like now they're bringing in folks that actually, and letting them show their athletic ability versus before it's just like, like we don't want you to do athletic stuff. We just want you to, look like a secretary and usher, this guy out to the ring and every so often get in the way to interfere with the match. And then, scurry about. But
I'll tell you a crazy thing. So, like everyone's kind of familiar, even if you don't watch it, everyone's kind of familiar with pro wrestling, right? Like, it's not like real, but I mean, look, these people still put themselves through a lot. We just had two, I don't know if they're husband and wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever they are. A young lady and her significant other come do a trial class, and tiny little thing, super, really nice. And she's like, oh yeah, we're pro wrestlers and we do some stage fighting. And I'm so glad that she told me that, because when we did specific training, the resistance, okay. You know how like when people resist you, it's constant, right? Like it's Like or maybe there's some movement, whatever.
Yeah.
I almost kind of chuckled to myself during the round because I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. I feel that. Her resistance, you could tell that she's used to fake fighting because she her resistance pulls back. It's the weirdest feeling I've ever felt in jiu-jitsu because I'm like, where did it go? It just kind of stopped. It was just such an odd sensation. I'm like, and I told her too, I was like, I'm so glad you told me that ahead of time because otherwise I would have been like, what are you doing? This doesn't even make, why would you stop pushing on me? Or why would your push stop at a certain point? It was like she was pulling punches back. It was the weirdest feeling though, because you never feel that from anybody else. And I'm like, you need to fix that, but that's okay. We'll fix it. Don't you worry.
I have a buddy who he used to wrestle. He ran a promotion, I guess, down in Tennessee or Alabama. And whenever we all get together, he'll always ask me about jiu-jitsu. And he's mentioned, maybe I want to come out there and step on the mats. And I think his wife is like, she thought he was talking about wrestling. She was like, absolutely not. I was like, no. He'll come out, I'll take good care of him. He's like 6'7". He's a massive human. I was like, I'll do the best I can. This is a giant. I'm just a wee human. But this guy, every time we go to any of our parties or, Halloween parties, get-togethers, he towers over, and it's just like, dude, just don't pick me up. Don't pick me up like a child, because if you do, I don't know how I would respond. I'd try to wrist lock him probably, but he's got massive hands. I don't know that I could, so I don't know, but I'd probably just eye poke him. He's a pro wrestler. He's used to it, the old thumb in the eye.
The accidental fish hook.
Hey, that's a Detroit special. Take it to the streets. So, Carly, this has been awesome, dude. I want to have you on again. I want to have you on more.
Please,
there's just a good flow here. Love it. Actually have a couple questions here, rapid fire style for you. I'm going to ask you these before we wrap up here. My daughter is sending me a text of some sort. I'm not sure what she's it popped up on the iPad because she's excited. I can message you on the iPad now.
Oh my gosh.
So I think she was like, Dad, can I stay up a little later? Well, yeah, until I come up there, then it's, story time and bedtime. Get off the tablet. It's past 8. All right. So let's see here. I got 5 of them. I'm going to run through here. There was 10. I was like, let's actually take Lord. 5 out of these 10. The other 5 were just kind of they didn't feel right. But these 5, I expertly handpicked myself.
All right.
So, first question is, what's the first thought that runs through your mind right before a match starts?
Let's go.
I can dig it.
Simple.
I think that's that feels like that should be the only thing there. It's because otherwise you're overdoing it. So let's go. All right. Number 2, what's your go-to submission when you need to end the match fast?
Depends on a position. It used to be triangle. I've been hitting arm bars a lot lately. But that cross collar choke is a good old special. Depends on what position I'm in.
Okay. Hey, that cross collar choke is always there. It's always there. Even when they think they could defend it, that they being me, they still get caught. They still being me. If your jiu-jitsu style had a nickname, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. That's a great question.
Knew I could start with one.
Heavy? I always get called heavy. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's the only time that's okay to. It's the only time that's okay to say that.
It's a skill. So take it as the compliment it is. except for when they call me heavy, you know, like, yo, Dante, like your pressure is good. It's like, hey, thanks. I actually ate a rotisserie chicken before I came to class and a cake. What's the most memorable lesson the coach has ever given you?
Roll with your opponent, not against your opponent.
Mm.
And I use that. I tell people that to this day because it changed my game forever.
Makes sense. I'm taking notes here because I got to play this back. So I'm just going to jot these down in my little notebook. And then the last one here, finish this sentence. Competition is
amazing.
And there you have it. But I think you're like the first person to actually do the rapid fire. Like you drop the answer because I'm so used to like getting like actual like. So when like you drop like the one word answer, I'm like, fuck.
Oh no!
She understood the assignments. I didn't. But awesome. All right. Well, Carly, this has been a treat. Awesome. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Like,
thank you for having me.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have you again. We're doing this again. We'll figure it out. Actually, you know what I'll probably do is I'm gonna have that other guest on after they compete. I'm gonna have her back on. We're gonna talk about that, and then I'm gonna have you on, and then then I'm gonna try to get us all together.
Yeah.
See if we can sync up our times. So
awesome.
But yeah. So before we get out of here, do you have any shout outs or mentions you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
Well, let me just do a really quick shout out to the school that I'm at right now, Henzo Gracie DFW. You know, if you're in the Keller, Hearst, Bedford, Texas area, and you're looking for a school, whether it's a new school or a change or whatever, like come check us out. The atmosphere is amazing. Our coaches, Greg Hamilton, is rock solid. I mean, honestly, like I've been to just as many schools as yours I've been training. And I mean, hands down, the best environment, the best people, even our white belts are solid. Like, I mean, the questions, the collaboration, I mean, I can't say enough about it. So, I mean, shout out to them. I mean, my husband, he's, the unlimited support, even if he can't make it to a tournament, I know he's always there. War Tribe, if you want to sponsor me, I wear nothing but War Tribe. Bighorn Athletics, I don't go a day without your finger tape. If you want to sponsor an old lady who competes all the time, I tag you on everything. Give me some love.
I'll make sure to tag them on this. All right. Well, awesome. And thank you. And I'll make sure to tag them in the show notes and everything. And War Tribe. And as always, to you guys, the listeners, thank you. If y'all have any questions, concerns, criticisms, anything, feel free to reach out. You can always find me at bjj.wiki on Instagram and also Off the Mats Podcast as well on Instagram. I would love to shout out my crew over at Nerd Rage Radio. Bobby, Chris, Joe, Farrell, Ricky Ticky, Marilyn Phil, Chucky, all of them. I had a mug down here last episode, and then it was like, there's a lot of names. I'm not reading all those names, but all of them. Shout out to them. If it weren't for Nerd Rage, I wouldn't be doing the podcast. So thank you to those guys. Greatly appreciate them. And I actually seen them recently with, the holidays and everything about Halloween and what have you, getting the kids together. I'd also like to shout out my other podcast. So you like horror? If you like scary movies, go check that shit out. I don't even know what episodes are out by the time this episode hits. I know we just did a full run through October with all the scary movie stuff. We did episode 100, Halloween 1978 versus Halloween 2007, just a comparison. We also had Thanksgiving in Ring versus Ringu. remake versus original stuff going on. So there's a lot going on. Thanksgiving is probably going to be next after this. I can't remember, but whatever it might be, go check it out if you like scary movies. So you like horror, all the words separated by underscores on Instagram, or you can just go find a podcast. There are no underscores. There's no separation. Just so you like horror. If you listen to this podcast somewhere, it's probably there as well. So go check that joint out. And last but not least, I would like to thank my guest here. Hold on. Because I'm not going to mess this up. Carly DuCharme. Dude, I'm the smartest person alive. Whenever I say to my daughters, like, Dad, there are smarter people than you. Einstein, I said alive. He's not alive. Relax, kid. But
she's rough on you, man.
Oh, she used to be cool. And now I'm not the funniest person she knows anymore. I'm not the coolest person anymore. It's just I'm just Dad. So it's like, cool. Like I wasn't just Dad when I taught you how to ride your bike. I wasn't just Dad when you wanted to go to Dave and Buster's. You want to go play Monster Mini Golf? Huh? Who's cool now? This guy. But thank you for sharing your time, sharing your story and experience, and opening my eyes to kind of looking at competition a certain way as well. I don't know that I'm going to compete anytime soon, but it's still a thing that's in my mind because, I still get out there with the folks over at our gym, and a lot of them are active competitors. And if you can hang with them, in the training room, it's like, why not test it out somewhere else? So thank you for your insights.
Absolutely.
And you guys, the listeners, thank you. We love you guys. Y'all know what it is. You guys keep listening, and we're going to definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
They were with it. Now let me sing a song.